welcome to One Brain Ops. My name is Ryan Brewer, and trust me when I say that this one was a lot easier to write than the last one. Introducing, football is completely different than basketball. It's Daniel Brewer.
He's not wrong.
It wasn't your turn.
Sorry.
Should you charge for ATMs?
I am experiencing enjoyment. It's Olivia Holtz.
I really am experiencing enjoyment right now.
I am with myself also. It's Aiden Kazan.
I still think basketball is different from football.
Good for you! It's Carl Holtz.
Good for you!
Today we're playing 3 of these people are lying. Based on the technical difficulties, 2 of these people are lying. We've each put a Wikipedia article on a card. We're going to take turns drawing them, and one person's going to tell the truth about what it is, and everybody else is going to lie. Give me the pile so I can pick a card. Come on, let's go.
Fine.
Ryan, new hand gesture. Pause for cuts.
Drawers.
Redundant safety systems.
Okay. We are talking about Hobbytown. Hobbytown. Alright. Let's start with Daniel James Brewer. What is Hobbytown?
Whoa!
You're in trouble
With
now.
the maiden name? Or not maiden name?
Daniel, you're still a maiden.
Okay, so I don't know. This is like it's based off of... Have you heard of Child Cities?
Yes.
Anyone?
Yeah.
Yes? So it's based...
Actually.
No?
I never thought I'd hear child cities in one of these ever.
So they were basically these typically they're in malls, I think.
There's a Defunctland episode on it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think I do know what this is. Yeah. You just basically drop off your kid while you do stuff.
And they play real life.
Okay, anyway, so
It's really cool. It's a great concept.
there was
great
this...
concept
It's
for
so-
neglecting your kid.
Just the kids' play area in IKEA.
So these child towns were made by 2 partners, I believe. Anyway, so one of them, they eventually split up and they branched out in different areas of the U.S. But in Miami, there was actually...
Miami. Sorry, none of you get that reference. Go on.
There was actually one that was supposed to be made in a mall in Miami, but they couldn't find a vacant plot to do it.
Is this Miami, Florida, or Miami, Ohio?
Miami, Florida.
Okay, that's important.
They couldn't find a vacant place, so they just put it in the back of a Hobby Lobby and called it Hobbytown.
So, there's a Wikipedia article about a child city in the back of a Hobby Lobby in Miami, Florida.
Correct.
That's a cool article.
It was the coolest thing
Daniel
ever.
is going to repeat as most creative liar, I think.
Liar.
How dare you?
It's his article.
Aiden, what is Hobbytown?
So, this was my article, although I still understand if you vote for Daniel. This is basically a Hobby Lobby. It had dealt with various hobbies. It combined kind of Hobby Lobby and Radio Shack together, so it could
Radio
do
Lobby.
yeah.
Hobby Shack.
I think that Radio Lobby is funnier than Hobby Shack.
I think you're stupid. That's not correct.
Okay.
So this was a local
Guess
chain
what? I'm
store.
not going to pick Daniel.
This was a local chain store in Oregon. It had some success, but eventually just got bought up by Hobby Lobby. They just changed the name. They used it basically just to have the physical stores. They wanted to expand westward, so it is no longer existent.
Okay. That is boring and believable.
Just like Fartlek.
There's nothing boring about Fartlek.
I love Fartlek.
Yeah, that was great.
Fartlek 2.0 is...
Carl, what is Hobbytown?
It's really just a hobby shop. It's not overly notable. aside from the location in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, being the location of the original Backrooms picture.
Backrooms?
Backrooms?
You don't know about the Backrooms?
Sorry, no.
I'm actually gonna clip out no clip right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like-
It was, do you know what liminal spaces are?
Okay, how?
Sorry, apparently I'm just a
Okay,
moron.
so basically,
Please, I
it
can't.
was so someone posted a picture of this creepy place. It's got like yellow walls, shitty carpets, fluorescent lights, and it just seems to go on forever. So we were creepypasta talking about how you can just like no clip into it, fall through reality, and then there are like monsters in it, and you go insane. And then it got super popular. There've been a bunch of different versions, most notably Kane Pixel's short films, where he like documents a company like going and exploring it, and it is so massively successful.
Now I want that to be true.
By the way, this was not Livy's lie.
I know, I just need to explain the back rooms.
But also to explain liminal spaces, it's essentially a place that you normally see like filled with people and lively that's empty. It just kind of gives you a little eerie feeling.
And so this one is...
This is the original liminal space.
Okay.
It's not there anymore. They tore it out to put in a remote control car racetrack.
That's even cooler.
I know!
And it's crazy that it's an Oshkosh.
I know.
I don't know how.
Right?
Okay. I don't even know what to write down.
There was also like there's even more to the story. It's just
I didn't write down anything for Carl or Aiden. Livy, what is this thing?
So it is a chain. Basically, it's just like comics, games, stuff like that. They originally were selling like model airplanes and stuff.
Okay.
And then they started expanding and just shift over to more pop
So it's
culture.
like an actual chain of like stores.
Yeah.
Okay. See, the name does sound familiar to me, and that's kind of what I thought it might be. So that's really believable. Do you know where they started out?
I think it was somewhere in the Midwest.
Oh, I thought it was
The actual
Paris,
Midwest?
Texas.
The actual Midwest.
Where what cheer is?
and the Keokuk County Freedom Rock.
Yeah. Okay, Daniel, I kind of want to know more about the child city in the back of the Hobby Lobby in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Do you have any other details you can provide?
I mean, do you want to know about, like, I don't recall the name of the mall. That would be nice to know.
Yeah, it would.
Honestly,
I don't-
just watch the Defunctland video.
I mean, yeah, just watch the Defunct Land video, but
I'll look it up, I'll watch it now, and then I'll guess.
In like an hour when the Defunctland video is done.
I can tell you that they were the two partners who came up with it were both from Mexico, and they decided to split off into two different companies because they didn't like how the one in Mexico was going, and they decided to split off because they had different plans for the company,
So
they
had
could start their own chains
Their own chains of what?
of the same thing, but like the same type of child cities, but in different parts of the country in the U.S. Because they wanted to expand into
But
the
Hobby
U.S.
Town is just the one in that one specific place.
Correct, but there are others. Like there's one in California. There was one in California
Okay.
from the other guy.
Here's my question, though. Why is the one in the back of the Hobby Lobby in the mall in Miami, Florida, notable enough to have its own Wikipedia article?
Well, the other one does too. I'm sure.
There's only one other one?
Well,
Yeah,
they don't exist
it's not
anymore.
you. Okay. Continuing on. I'm going to strike
No,
Daniel.
Listen to me though.
You're not going to pull this back, bud.
You're correct.
No,
They
let
went
me try.
out of business a long time ago. They don't exist anymore.
I think there is a Wikipedia article, at least for the original child cities.
And
I wouldn't be surprised if there were others for spin-offs. Because they did split. And they did.
Split.
one went to Miami, one went to California.
I think that is correct.
Pause.
He's backing me up, so
Okay.
get a magic eraser.
I still don't believe you. Aiden, you said this started in Oregon, and then where were they expanding to?
They weren't expanding. They were just like a local state chain. They actually like didn't go to. They were like struggling with financials, but it wasn't because of just like Radio Shack and Hobby Lobby kind of dying off as well. It was actually like this was like in the peak in the 80s. It basically they had competition against both Radio Shack and Hobby Lobby because they were like serving both consumers. It sounds like a good idea, but that's double the competition. So they're struggling. Hobby Lobby wanted to expand westward, so they're like, we're just going to buy you up and take your stores.
Okay, I like that a lot. The thing is, I just feel like a business... I feel like they're not going to try to go after... Because, like, Hobby Lobby and Radio Shack are, like... The products that they would have sold are, like, very different.
Yeah, but they wanted to appeal to, like, every single hobby, that kind of thing.
But, like, they
so
wanted
it was like...
It seemed like...
I think it was a good idea. It was like... I mean, it ended up not being a good idea.
But I guess they did poorly. Maybe they wanted to be Walmart and just sell everything.
It just
like, it was like a larger
convenience
department store.
for hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that. Like, they had, like, larger stores than, like, Radio Shack and even Hobby Lobby did at the time. And, like...
I mean,
I think it was a good idea.
He's lying, but I could see it being a good business venture.
Okay.
Well, he's lying, but I agree with him besides a lie.
Okay, I want to explain a little bit about Carl's lie.
Oh my god.
So the background is a real internet phenomenon. I feel like Carl just mentioned it because he knew that I think it's so cool because it's like grown into like an actual like collaborative storytelling game. Shut the fuck up.
Whoa!
And he knew that I would not be able to resist explaining it, and so he's fully relying on me.
No, I would have. But you jumped in before.
To be honest,
Please do.
I was already kind of ruling out Carl because I just don't understand him enough.
I don't think. I mean, I'll back him up. That's a cool thing. Like,
I
maybe strike him last.
If you want to, like,
the thing is,
more information.
The real reason that I'm not believing Carl is that he threw in the detail about Oshkosh, and that feels like a way to try to bait me into picking him. Because it's like, it's something so local.
So the reason that I threw in Oshkosh is, like, the reason
they stop playing with the thing.
I'm not. That's Carl.
me.
That's Carl.
Stop playing with the thing. The mic picks that up.
Was this a problem last time?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
This was him last time.
So the main reason I threw in Oshkosh is because there was a whole big lost media search that like just concluded last year to find the original.
We still don't know where it is.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. They confirmed it.
It's Oshkosh.
Look, you could be telling the truth. I just don't. I don't think you are.
Couldn't they check the metadata of the photo?
I think
just like there wasn't any information posted
It was
with
unfortunate.
it. Yeah.
so. Okay. Libby's was very believable off the bat. Aiden, you kind of talked me into yours being believable.
Was it not believable originally?
Right. I wasn't thinking that like the two industries would go together well, but you kind of talked me into that. I think it could really be either one of you. I'm going to go with Aiden only because I think that would be more fun.
Thank you. You're wrong.
Okay. Libby?
No.
Oh, Carl? Ah, damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're wrong, Libby. They did find
I
it.
know. I told you that. I was the one who said.
Then why did you say they did it?
Because the point is to lie. I
she
was
was trying
lying
to
for
Yeah,
my
but
own
it
narrative.
was my turn.
Okay.
Daniel, they wouldn't have an article for a child city in the back of a Hobby Lobby in a mall.
See,
in
I
Miami.
feel
like that's
wrong.
possible. Yeah.
I
Wikipedia
think
is
you're
wrong.
Yeah.
Wikipedia is so weird. There's a Wikipedia article on Zoo Piggy. It's a town of 100 people.
There's an article in the other one in California.
There's an article on Choppington.
It's true. Yeah, so, by the way, I didn't write anything for Aiden or Carl throughout that. The only things I wrote were Livy, Store Chain, and Daniel, Child City. So, yeah.
You have to watch the Defunct Land video.
Okay, Carl, you put in a new article, and we will be back with Aiden's turn. Hey guys, it's Ryan from the future. And, this... sorry. This is weird. I haven't put on this headset since I finished my Fire Emblem walkthrough, which was months ago now as I'm editing this video. So, wanted to just clarify a couple things. So, first of all, I absolutely did not understand what child cities were when Daniel was talking about them. I was completely wrong. I thought it was something else entirely. I did actually watch the Defunct Land video that was mentioned that night and felt really dumb. So I'm going to link that Defunct Land video below. Apparently Daniel and Carl didn't know what they were either because they kept calling them child cities when they're actually called kid cities. But in any case, the Kid Cities Defunct Land is linked below. I'm also going to link below in some bonus content that I'm going to put out there eventually. I mentioned an anecdote where I said that, I had watched a Defunct Land about Floridaland, this theme park, and I told a story about they were training one of their porpoises by taking it out into the ocean and having it follow their boat, and then it just swam off and was never seen again, which apparently did happen, but that wasn't a Defunct Land video, that was an Expedition theme park video, so I linked to that one below too, and I'll probably link both of those videos in the bonus content as well. Anyway, that's all. Back to the show. Take it away past me. We're back. It's Aiden's turn, and Aiden is picking an article.
I'm picking Elf Aquitaine.
Elf Aquitaine.
Elf Aquitaine? Can I see that?
There's an I though.
Elf
it might be
Aquitaine.
Aquitaine? Aquitaine. I don't know.
Aquitaine. Elf Aquitaine. Okay, Ryan. Starting with you. What is Elf Aquitaine? Am I saying it right?
I don't know how it's pronounced. I've only read it.
Okay.
But Elf Aquitaine or Aquitaine or whatever is an action hero.
Action hero. Okay. Could you go a little bit further?
You want me to go now or you want to come back?
Just like another sentence.
Okay. So it takes place in outer space, basically. And for some reason, the main character is an elf with all sorts of weird powers and stuff.
Outer space elf.
Cool. And I should add, this was a movie.
It was a movie?
I forgot to say it's a movie.
Is Santa involved in it?
No, this has nothing to do with Santa and the elves.
It's like a Lord of the Rings
Yeah,
elf.
is it fantasy elves or?
I think, again, because it's in outer space, I'm thinking it's in the future. So I have no idea why there's an elf in space.
Future elf not related to Santa.
Yes.
Or Lord of the Rings.
Movie.
It's actually just Keebler elves.
I mean, Aiden, you can just guess mine now.
Livy, what is yours? What is Elf Aquitaine?
So when the movie Elf came out, there were a lot of promotional campaigns and stuff, and this was one in Mexico where it was branded water, so it really did not do well.
Elf water.
So wait, it's elf water?
Yeah, it literally just had pictures of the characters on the label.
Wow.
Yeah.
Totally
It's basically those cans of Fanta where they'll put Beetlejuice on it or Wednesday Addams, and they're like, you can have a can with a picture on it,
And it's Elf.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
Corporate grade, man.
Carl, what is Elf Aquitaine?
It's a topical steroid. The elf is just a nickname. The elf part is just a nickname.
Okay. So not related to Santa?
No.
Gotcha.
I mean, Santa could use
Carl, how dare you bring up drugs again on Aiden's turn?
Okay, Daniel, what is Elf Aquitaine?
It's a French oil and gas company.
French oil and Okay.
Sorry, so could you like pronounce it in French?
Please do.
I can't do that.
Aquatine!
I know it's Aquatine and not Aquitaine, though.
If Aquatina!
I think that's Italian.
If Aquatine!
It's an Italian title in France.
What?
No,
It's an Italian name in France.
No, he was just his pronunciation.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll start with you. So where is it located in France?
I don't know where it's located. What I can tell you is that
He sounded so offended by that. Like, sorry, no. I can't even name a French city.
I don't. Have you heard of Total Energies? It's like the global energy, like gathering, not gathering.
Like a convention kind of thing?
It's where they gather energy. Basically, Total Energy.
It's a battery.
So Total Energy is the American company, and this is just the French version. And there's a version in every single country.
Okay, do you know why it's named this way? What does that have to do with like Elf Aquitaine?
I don't know about the elf part. I can guess that Aquitaine, some word in that resembles what our version of energy is.
Sorry, you mentioned batteries, and I'm just changing the batteries out of this label maker before they die.
Don't make sure he doesn't eat them.
When did like this company start, and is it still in business?
It's still in business. I don't know the exact date or the year, but I assume that it came shortly after the American version, because the American version is the original.
And the American version is Total Energy?
Yes.
Okay.
They also deal with like solar panels and like wind turbines, that kind of thing.
So is this company a battery or a capacitor?
Are you guessing? Why is your cup or your coaster yellow?
It's probably from orange juice.
You just leaked through the bottom of the glass.
I probably spilled some.
I'm not really sure what other information I can ask, but could you tell me more about this Elf branded water?
Great sentence of our time. Could you tell me more about this Elf branded water?
Yeah, so basically, like, they had Will Ferrell, but it was such, like, an unconventional story that they really weren't sure it would do well, and so they put, like, a bunch of money into marketing it, and just, like, making sure people saw it everywhere. Like, even in grocery stores.
So the like water came out before the movie did as a marketing thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they have the licensing?
Or did they struggle
even
to get
better?
it?
It's just like a random dude in a mouth costume.
I mean, to
Watch
be fair,
Elf in theaters.
to be fair, Mexico and like progressing down into South America is a licensing nightmare.
Right.
I love it so
Most
much.
Simpsons, the roller coaster with like Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman.
Yeah, but this was, like, an official effort to help sell the movie.
That's so weird that like I feel like that has to be true. Otherwise, you're like
Like,
insanely creative.
some idiotic
You might win this
CEO
round
came
for
up with
creative
it, and
answer.
They were like, people drink water, right?
But, like, at the same time, it also totally feels like she saw Elf and Aqua and panicked. That's what she came up with.
Yeah. But also, I mean, like, that's creative. Okay. Honestly, none of these, I feel like.
I'm glad it's that one and not the one I was feeling with Zoopagey, where it's like all of these are right.
I feel like it's more likely that, like, this was mine and I just forgot or something. Carl, okay, tell me more about the topical steroids.
So, it's not a great nickname because it's actually primarily used in people with dwarfism.
Oh. Why do they need steroids?
Topical steroids for like
Yeah.
eczema.
What does that have to do with like being a dwarf or like midget?
Because they have different health needs.
They have like different skin than us.
They're Waylon
Is
Jones.
this a dumb question? I feel like they're the same.
No,
Like, why do you need a different steroid for?
because
I'm so
And they're
offended
like,
about it.
well,
Okay.
I mean, it's just it's a precaution because their bodies are different than ours.
So their skin is different.
So,
Slightly.
is it like a lower dosage or something because they're smaller people?
Well,
I
then it
didn't
would be
read
the
that
same
much. I kind of
drug.
stopped it. It's that they're smaller people.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this is wrong. Sorry.
Yeah,
nah.
That just sounds weird.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, as far as I know, it's really just like a bone and muscle thing.
Yeah.
Again, none of this. Ryan, please tell me more about this future outer space elf action.
Throw more things at the wall.
To be honest, you basically just described it perfectly. I don't need to add anything to it.
Oh, really?
So yeah, Elf Aquatine or Aquatine is both the name of the movie and the main character. They are the hero. They're on a quest to defeat a bunch of space monsters or something. He has like an energy bow and arrow and an energy sword because like it's like kind of fantasy elf type stuff, but in the future. And then I think he's also got like some classic blasters from Boo Blasters on Boo Hill.
Of course, as one does in the future.
Bow blasters on Bow Hill. Bow basters on
That-
Bow Hill.
that's
did it
really
come
all.
out?
What was that?
When did it come out?
Oh, this was from 1993,
Okay.
and I believe it was an animated movie.
So is
Based
it
on
like
the
a
artwork.
He-Man ripoff almost?
No idea.
No,
I'm
because
not very familiar
He-Man
with
wasn't
He-Man.
an elf.
I mean, there was
And-
like talking animals in here, but sure.
Yeah.
dude.
Did this come out in theaters or was it like a direct to DVD?
I don't know.
VHS.
I actually don't know that, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a direct-to-video type thing. It looked, based again on pretty much on the artwork from the article, it looked pretty low budget.
I still hate all of these.
Four of these people are lying.
I think there was some mistake.
It's actually just Aiden's article.
That's what I'm thinking. Did I put this down?
It'd be really funny if you go all the way around the table and everybody's like, it's not lying.
I can continue asking questions, right?
You can.
Yeah.
You can ask
You
questions
can-
until
yeah.
3:30 p.m.
Okay,
Please don't.
Yeah, please don't.
Daniel, so you said it's a French oil and gas company.
Correct.
It's an American subsidy of Total Energy. And you said like they're doing solar panels and like wind
They
stuff?
do. Yes, that's not their primary like pole, but they do that.
Okay. And so it's a French company that primarily like originally did oil and gas. Where did they like get this oil? Was it like on the shores of France?
I don't know how you expect me to know that.
You read
That-
the Wikipedia article.
Yes,
I feel
but
like
that-
it'd say where the
It
oil
doesn't.
came
It
from.
doesn't state how they get their products. It just states what it is.
Yeah, they do some fracking. That's
Okay.
natural gas, but
Yeah, did it mention anything about fracking?
Not. They mentioned crude gas, and natural.
Gas.
Yes, They-
Crude and natural. All the gas.
all the gases.
you got Qdoba gas.
Taco Bell gas.
Yeah. They just mentioned that those were what they do. There's not really anything else to the article.
Okay.
It's not gonna get better, Aiden.
No.
Surely there's something
No.
like I can find to
At a
tell. I
certain
mean, it's
point,
all
you
so
just have to
wrong.
pick.
Okay. I don't think there's like oil fields in France, so why would there be a French oil and gas company? But also, that's like the least ridiculous.
I don't know. I think an outer space elf action animated film is pretty realistic.
It really sounded like you were just making it up, and I purposely chose you because, like, I feel like,
Because my last one was so unbelievable and was true.
yeah,
And like,
Ryan,
This-
you sound like when Yuri, that one night that Yuri was just throwing pickles at the wall and making a mistake.
You're just like, it's an action hero movie and it's outer space and it's also the future. And
It's not like
that sounds like you're
it's not
making
like
it up.
Santa's elf.
What can I say? That's
And
what
he has a
it is.
bow and
You
a
know, I think you should
sword.
leave sketch. Pitch room. It's like an elf, and there's.
Now, Impractical Jokers already did a version of that.
And then, yeah. Elf waters.
Elf water.
That's so ridiculous, but also, like, I sort of think that's right.
I think you just have to choose now.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not
Okay,
gonna get better.
it's-
You're limited by
Olivia,
this
is it you?
mind.
Yours?
No.
Okay, that makes sense. Ryan, is it yours?
No, you are absolutely right that I was panicking and throwing words at you.
Daniel, is it yours?
Yes.
You can.
That's why
I'm
you
getting the oil. Okay.
You could also
Okay.
tell because it's half.
Let me pull up the article.
Here's how I
okay, well, that's kind of cheating.
Oh yeah, we haven't actually been reading anything from the articles afterwards.
Yeah, here I'll talk about this.
Yeah, but I would like more information.
So it's a French multinational integrated oil and gas company and one of the 7 super major oil companies in the world. Its business cover the entire oil and gas chain from crude oil and natural gas exploration and production to power generation, transportation, refining, petroleum product marketing, and international crude oil and product trading. So French oil brand of Total Energies.
Here's how I knew it was Daniel the whole time. Aquitaine is a place in France. And I knew there was no way that Daniel would know that and make it a French oil company. That's how I knew it was his the entire time.
Okay, but what's that elf part? Because that's
I don't know what the elf part is.
Like, that's what I was
It doesn't
saying.
make
It's just like-
sense. I'm not lying about the elf part. It says elf Aquitaine. So
Is elf like an acronym?
Could be.
Something French?
The acronym could be in French also.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I know France in French is still starts with an F, so that's
Okay, Daniel, you need to get a new article and then we can move on to the next round.
That was a good one.
We're back. Carl is about to draw a card. He looks confused.
I'm very confused. I don't even know if I should justify saying this. Haiti.
Haiti. As in okay.
Okay.
This is interesting.
Haiti. All right. Do we want to actually continue with this round, or do we
Yeah, we should do it.
Is that because it's yours?
Why would you ask me that?
Did you just find a country and put it on the note?
No, I did not do that.
Okay, let's
Surely
go around this.
everyone knows
Who
what
wants
Haiti
to
is,
who wants to continue this round? And don't give away if it's your article, but who wants to continue this round and who does not?
I want to
You
continue
can't
the round.
raise your hands and say who wants to do this.
Sorry.
or this.
Okay. One vote to continue. Anybody else? I'm gonna say no, and I think
Yeah.
Carl should just pick another article.
Okay,
agree.
consult.
All right, this was
can't.
Now you've given away that it's yours.
yes,
We already
because we
know
aren't.
what it
We're
is.
choosing that we're not doing it.
But
Yeah, so we have to
you could
put
have
a-
drawn another one, and then you could have made up a lie. But now
Yeah,
we know
but-
your line, so you have to put a new one in.
I think
Yeah,
it would
because
just
we
be-
aren't gonna do
replace
it.
because otherwise we're just gonna keep
No,
drawing.
but
it.
like if you hadn't said it was yours, you could have still made up a lie for the next thing he drew.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't ever be able to
No, but
get
then
his
Right.
chosen.
after the round, when someone else is putting an article in, he puts a new one in too.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Was it just the country?
might-
Haiti?
No, it was a different
was it?
thing. In Norse mythology, Haiti is a wolf that chases the moon through the sky every day, trying to eat
It all comes together.
Skull, who chases Sol, the sun, and that's his sister. At Ragnarok, both of them will succeed in their quests.
Doesn't Fenris eat the sun in real
No,
Fenrir
he's
is
chained.
Loki's.
Yeah, he's
Right.
chained.
Fenrir is a long-range Dark Tome and Fire Emblem race.
Come on, this was like my favorite one.
But why
would
would Daniel? The problem is it's a country.
Yeah, it's
I could
It's
just
a
say
very,
what it
very
is,
common
and
country.
I guarantee there's a Wikipedia article on the country of Haiti. So technically we would both be right.
Is that the same?
Yeah.
We should just go through it. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, now I have to put
That's
no one in.
Do you want to throw it?
Haiti. That's Hati.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Hati. See, I couldn't read it from all the way over here.
Carl.
You said Hati, we could have done it. It's on Carl. It's Carl's fault. Okay.
Wait, I'm throwing
Put
it
it
at
at his
Controversially, I'm going to leave all of this in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, I need to add in one. God, I'm so mad. I got picked twice in a row and not getting picked.
Okay, let's talk more about that later. Carl is reshuffling, and we're going to try this again.
Carl's gonna learn how to read.
Yeah, Carl.
Real quick.
Didn't you know the spelling of Haiti?
This
To
time,
be fair, Daniel didn't either.
this time read carefully.
Hi, Jolly Monument.
What?
Hi.
High Jolly Monument. Okay.
Monument.
Okay. High Jolly Monument it is. Does anybody object to this one? No? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Daniel.
Well, it's exactly what it is. It's a jolly monument. Waving. Crazy that it's three times. Crazy that it's 3 times in a row now.
It's beautiful.
You don't need to go to anyone else.
That's all it is.
I think we know.
That's all it is. And I thought it was so funny that it's exactly what it sounds like that I would put it in, and it works. It's now 3 times in a row that I've gotten picked, and I'm happy about it because it went from 0 to 3. It's awesome.
Ryan, what is High Jolly Monument?
Daniel is concerned. No, he's not. High Jolly Monument is a famous grave site.
Is the bone their money?
The bones are not their money. The worms are their dollars.
Learning how to spell on the fly here.
Mm-hmm.
Grave.
I almost spelled site with
R-Y-Q-A-N.
I almost spelled site with a G-H. Aiden.
So, High Jolly Monument is English kids show in Korea, South Korea. Do you want me to go further?
Not right now.
Okay. So English language kids show.
Yeah,
Not
to
like produced in English.
produced in
broadcast.
No, it's like to teach English in Korea.
Oh, okay.
So like Dora the Explorer, but even if like Dora was even more Spanish, I guess. I don't know what to say, but like
Does it have the same intro as Dora where they go through the house and then into the video game?
what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like a live action bit.
Wow,
No,
I've
no.
totally forgotten about that.
Right?
Wait, what?
It's been so many years since I've seen Dora.
Are you gaslighting me? Is this actually?
No, it's
a real
real.
thing. It's
That's
it's
exactly
like
what
how
someone
in
who's
Super
gaslighting
Why
would say.
it like starts in an actual library, and then
Oh.
the little dude he's like, "Hi, I'm Wyatt."
And Dora was like this?
Yeah, it was
What?
super common
The,
actually.
the original Dora series was like this.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the follow-ups happened,
I
but...
need to watch Dora again. I know what I'm doing
Binge
after. yeah, how many seasons?
I've been
You watch all the
watching
spin-offs
Thomas
like the
Tank Engine
Diego show?
recently.
I mean, that makes sense.
It's honestly a good show.
It is a very good show. They're morbid. Like, for a kid's show,
Oh, yeah.
they like...
The Sad
Carl
Tale of
killed-
Henry?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Session, yeah.
Anyway, Olivia, with all that prep time,
So basically, it is a statue which honors those like old men whose like whole families have died. So they just like sit in the lobbies of New York apartments, like saying hi to everyone. And I can't expand further.
Okay.
wow. I'm surprised nobody went for a mechanical man that only waves.
That'd be great. Damn, I should have gone for that. Wait,
Can I change it?
Daniel, tell me a little bit more about your waving monument.
So, on a more
Did you
serious...
just lose?
No. I'm just putting it down.
Okay.
So, on a more serious note, this was made during the Great Depression.
That is
and
more serious.
it it was supposed to symbolize happiness in this sad time. So it was just a monument that was happy, and it was supposed to just bring joy to children who weren't doing so well.
So is it just like a statue of a giant emoji?
Those didn't exist.
It's the Great Depression. They didn't have smartphones yet.
Giant was emojis weren't a thing.
It was Ryan. It was an emoticon.
Oh.
Yeah, come on.
It's just a giant Morse code.
Their parents have to raise them up to reach it.
No, that's Braille, Dan.
Oh, it's
I like that even better than
It could be more so you have to touch. It like shocks you. Be happy. Be happy.
shock braille therapy. Are you moving on? Or you still want more?
Ryan, tell me about
Alright.
this grave site.
Right, so it's a grave site. The person who is buried there was High Jolly. High Jolly was a person, you see. He was a famous camel trainer. And he is buried under High Jolly Monument, which is in southwestern Arizona.
Why was he notable enough to have a monument?
Because he was a very famous camel trainer.
He's trading camels in Arizona.
Do you want me to tell you the story of High Jolly?
That's how they get
Love
mail
to
in the
hear
Grand
the story
Canyon.
of High
On
Jolly.
Camelback.
So, back in the 19th century, I forget exactly when, but pre-American Civil War, the U.S. government wanted to figure out how to get people west because they wanted to expand westward, and one of the ideas they had was bring over a bunch of camels and go through the southwest to get out to California that way. They brought over High Jolly and a bunch of camels from the Middle East, and High Jolly was responsible for helping coordinate all these camel expeditions westward. And when he died, they built a monument to him.
Is he Egyptian? Or African?
So he is, I forget where he's from originally, but he converted to Islam. And so his actual name is Haji Ali, but the Americans couldn't say that, and so it became High Jolly.
That's the most believable part of that entire story.
Good, it's a really great detail.
The person at the immigration's like, yeah, this is good enough.
I don't know how he made it through immigration, but I feel like immigration was less strict back in those days.
That was definitely just him doing it as a joke, like cracking up laughing.
Daniel, waving monument. Great Depression was happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Libby, tell me about the statue of an old man. Who was the old man?
Well, he's not really like anyone. He's meant to represent this group of older people who are so alone. And so they literally like seek companionship from strangers. And they're always like smiling and greeting people, being super kind and polite, but it's more about like the pain that they're hiding.
Is this the same old man from The Old Man in the Sea? No? Okay.
I think you need to explain yourself.
Pretty much.
The Old Man in the Sea is a story by Hemingway. I read it in high school.
I'm learning how to read right now. So
And right.
that's true.
Speedrunning education.
Aiden, Aiden,
Any percent.
can you tell me more about the English Korean kids show?
Yeah, so there's actually like quite a bit of lore to it. So it was just this.
Okay.
I don't know. How
Here
to
we
say
go.
it, but-
All right,
Yeah,
I'm here
it's a
for the
theory.
lore.
So this was actually like a primarily English show, but in Korea. So it was like for kids who either had like parents who could like speak English, so they're already pretty, I don't say it, good at English. Yeah. So it was like very, very slow spoken words in English. And the main character was this monument. And the like intro was like, "Hi, Jolly Monument." And
Wait, the main character's a monument.
no, it's like a mountain. So, so it's like this mountain that has a face. Why is that so? Okay. Okay.
It's the main character.
No, yeah. Okay. So it's this like happy mountain. And okay. Also, this is like an animation. Like it's a very like unique art style. So this mountain, every single episode, like kind of like goes out and like narrates the story that he sees in the wilderness, and like kind of talks about like different critters, what like a squirrel does, that kind of thing, and like follows like, for example, a squirrel or a rabbit and like their story. So like each episode is like a slightly nature documentary, but they like have a little like a child story to it, or like they personify these like critters that this mountain sees. And then okay.
So it's like one of those shows that.
Yes.
So it's like a show.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
No. So it's one of those shows like where they're retrospectively telling a story
Yeah, it's
and then transitioning into visual media instead of just like the audio of them telling the story.
yeah, like a documentary. It's not a documentary, but it's like you
Like
know, there's a narrator to it.
Kind of like a Walking with Dinosaurs thing.
Yeah, I mean like the kids version of that, I guess. Like it's all very basic stuff.
Where like what I mean by that is like Walking with Dinosaurs is like it's like narrated as if it's a nature documentary, but obviously it's following dinosaurs that are all props and CGI.
They're not real.
Yeah, it's
I'm sorry to ruin that for you, but
They were real, Daniel.
it's not CGI. It was like I think it was like hand drawn or hand painted. It was a very cool animation style, and also there were like real facts, so like you would learn about each of these critters, but like they would go on a journey that like probably wasn't real. Like it was like
Okay.
just a childhood tale, and through that you learned about like actual facts about the squirrels. Like, oh, the squirrel eats nuts and all of this, that kind of thing.
the squirrel.
I don't know, like what the
That's the
it's like.
the best squirrel related fact there is.
It's just like a regular fable, but through it you like learn stuff. And then, so it's primarily English. It was relatively successful in South Korea. So they're like, oh, maybe we can like actually get this out on DVD in like the US. So they did that and put it out on DVD to see like maybe it might be successful there. It wasn't, but it was like this is like bottom of the iceberg for like potheads. So the animation was like so unique, and like it was just so weird about like this like super like simple narration, but like crazy like neat art styles where like potheads loved it. So they're going for like kids in the US, but like all these like potheads and like people on like LSD and stuff like that were like, I love this.
Wow.
And that's like where they got this like popularity.
You know who I wish was here is Yuri. You know about this.
He's like hydraulic monument. I love that. That's my favorite show.
As much as I want it to be yours, Aiden, I don't think it is.
Well, I guess you don't need a point.
So you ready to make a guess, Carl?
Maybe. Ryan, I don't see a monument being put up in that time period to anybody that wasn't an American.
But why not?
Because America was extremely racist back then.
Well, yeah, it was pre-Civil War, but
Yeah.
to be clear, Hi Jolly didn't die until well after the Civil War, though. So he was in America for a long time, and the monument didn't go up until well after he died. I don't remember what year.
And there was a lot of racial diversity in the West.
That's true. It was different out west.
Yeah. Like, traditional values didn't really exist there.
I'm reading the card.
There's no block left, and now he's struggling.
Hi Jolly Monument.
But I'm just trying to connect it to these.
Oh,
Because if it's a statue, it has to be named Hi Jolly Monument.
Yeah, that's the name.
I know. But
It's like intentionally ironic. It's super like overly positive and weird because the person it's depicting is like intensely grieving.
Or
It's a poor translation from Korean to English.
or it's actually supposed to be Haji Ali, and the Americans couldn't say
I
that.
love that so much.
I
so want that to be
the most compelling part of that, honestly.
I think you have to guess now, Carl.
I think I do too. Daniel, is it yours?
no.
I didn't think so. Ryan, is it yours?
Yes.
I
What?
okay. I know that story. I was like, okay, whoever has this, I know this one already.
That one detail was compelling, and
Yeah.
I couldn't get past it. It was just that one detail.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, too, like, those words just do not go together. Hi Jolly
No.
Monument. And, like, the thing that Aiden did where he just, like, totally spiraled and said things like, squirrels eat nuts, that's exactly what I was hoping was going to happen with this article.
That's kind of the thing.
I feel like I'm proud of that, like, made up lie.
Hey,
No, that was
tell us
good.
you tell us that you spiral.
Did I
Aside-
spiral? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, aside from the fact that the main character is a monument, everything else,
That was the greatest
He
thing.
said it was a monument, then he's like,
The
actually, it's a mountain.
I think
No, it was a portrait. Okay, this is what I meant to say. It is a, like, mountain, but it was like a poor translation.
Kind of.
So
Yeah.
that's, like, the difference.
And I mean, there's a Japanese company whose mascot is literally just the letter T.
I think
Do you want to know what it's named? P-Chub.
I think the title of this episode will be
Hi Jolly Monument.
"The Main Character is a Monument."
Could also go with Carl can't read.
Okay, well, that was that round. I'm going to put a new article in, and then it will be Libby's turn next. All right, we're back. You like my hands impression, Carl?
Yes, it's very good.
Yeah. We're back. It's Olivia's turn. She's shuffling the cards. She will pick when she's ready.
Nukalavi.
Nukalavi?
Ryan, you want to start?
No. Okay, if you want to start with me,
I did.
then
There's
okay.
something you should know.
Here's what
Runs away.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
I actually have a medical condition.
I'm gonna okay. There's a specific reason that I'm doing this, and I'm gonna ask you to come back to me on this. But I'm going to write down what it is on the card, and then after you've asked everyone else, you're gonna come back to me.
I don't have any ideas, so I'm gonna stall for time.
Hang on.
That's wild because actually, he's concerningly close. I need to do
Okay.
that too.
Okay.
I'm putting it. I wrote it on the back. Nobody look at it yet,
Okay.
but it's on there. And now you ask everybody else.
Okay, and then at the end, you're gonna be like, "Was this your card?" I knew you would say
This
that.
your article?
Okay. Aiden, do you also want to write something on the back?
I can. If
It's
it's
just
fine.
how we do it now.
No.
I
This
would
is
love
a
to.
special case. You'll understand why.
Fine.
I really don't.
You will.
Okay.
So this is a Latin American rodent, and it's the world's smallest rodent.
Oh. Because Latin America, well, I guess South America, also has the world's biggest rodent, capybara.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't disagree.
If it were me guessing, I would totally believe that.
But it's a written one, of course.
It's the one that I wrote down, though.
It's in writing, so it's right. Oh, but
Can't argue with it.
Okay, Carl.
it is an Orkney, half horse, half man demon.
It's a centaur demon?
Half horse, half man.
The Wikipedia article specifically said part equine, part human.
Half horse, half demon.
Okay.
Also, the
Person.
the illustrations of it are not great, so I can't tell if it's actually a centaur or not, but I think it is.
Okay. Daniel?
It's a hand grenade.
Perfect.
All right. Reveal
Now,
reveal
you
Ryan.
can now flip the card over and read what I've written on the back. If you can
Actually,
read my
what if
handwriting.
I wanna wait? What if I wanna go to it last?
I mean, you could, but at any point now, you could.
because everyone else, right, like put in the effort of talking to me.
I will put in the effort of talking as soon as you reveal what's on the card.
Guess we never will
It's
know.
gonna be in my face. You gotta keep it.
And there's a specific. That would be great. There's a
It just
specific.
says look up.
Yeah, look up at my face. There is a specific reason I did this. You can decide whether you want to come to me or not.
No drum roll.
Are
we allowed to see?
That's up to Libby now.
Yeah, absolutely, you can see it.
Default roller coaster.
Defunct.
Defunct roller coaster.
This is why we don't write on the cards, Aiden.
the reason that
Okay, no.
Okay.
You're
Alright,
going last. You
Okay,
broke the rules.
I
You don't
will-
get to talk.
Okay, before you move on, I just want to say the reason I did it this way is because I was like 90% sure Carl would have heard of this and was going to ruin it. So I'm glad he didn't.
That probably should tell you it's not that.
Okay, but Carl, I do want to follow up with you. So is
Yeah.
it like
Or Carl's just
is
being
it like
cool.
a reverse like mermaid thing where it's like fish half on top or
The drawing is really.
Okay.
It is aquatic, specifically saltwater,
okay?
and if you're being chased by it, I kid you not, cross a stream, a freshwater stream.
Oh yeah, can't follow, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's more I can say about it too. It's
sure,
not much.
Go
more.
off.
It is the nastiest of all the demons.
So, demon.
It is nasty.
Okay.
That, like, in quotes, the
Really
nastiest of the
nasty.
orgy demons.
Okay. What like century is it from?
I didn't
Cool.
read that part. I mean, I literally found the article like a half hour ago. And I've looked at it 4 times.
Okay.
And that's the real McCoy.
So what's the tiny rodent look like to eat?
It's an omnivore, so it eats like smaller insects, and also it eats nectar and some fruits too. And it's also like the size of like just a full-grown adult is the size of like your thumbnail, so it's like very very tiny. And it's like I'd say it looks kind of like a mouse, a brown mouse. I guess without much of a tail. It has a little bit of a tail, but like not much.
Okay.
Guys, to
I'm
be the
just
size I want it to be, it can't have much of it.
I'm just like thinking
that
of a mouse,
size.
and it's like okay,
Should
it
it
does
be
look
big?
like a mouse, but like without that like that pink.
But
tail.
without the mouse feature.
Should I make the tail bigger?
No, it's like everything else a mouse.
It's like
But-
a gopher
So it's
eel.
like
not
a
a-
gerbil.
It's like a gopher
Yeah,
eel.
but like I mean, yeah, but
Okay.
like a really
Scale
tiny
it up.
one, and I would say it has more mouse features than gerbil.
Okay.
Amputate a mouse tail and
Damn. I'm sorry.
and then
Um,
you get it.
so what's its habitat like?
I mean, it's in jungles and stuff like that. It gets eaten a lot, but it breeds very fast, so balances out.
That is generally how rodents are, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, it's in the Amazon rainforest, and it also, like, is a little bit on the outskirts. It can't do high altitudes, so it doesn't really show up in, like, Chile or anything like that.
This animal is so tragic, but, like, I don't want it to be real.
It's not actually an amputated tail. It's like, it just doesn't have a tail.
It's not amputated, it just looks amputated.
It just,
You told me to just say
it
that.
just looks like it was violently removed and occasionally leaks blood.
So, like, is there just constantly blood pouring out of his stomach and tail?
Yeah, pretty much. You got confused about the, like, without a tail, so I'm like, imagine it amputated. It's not actually amputated.
I can visualize rodents without tails.
Okay, well, fine. It's that, but not a gerbil.
A gerbil, a hamster, a guinea pig.
Okay, I'd say it's more of a small hamster.
Okay.
That could stand on your thumb.
Yeah, a very small hamster.
And they do eat insects.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this would have been domesticated.
I mean, yeah. I don't
Okay,
know why.
is there anything special about the grenade?
So, it's still being, like, developed for, like, future engagements, but it's supposed to combine, like, the best parts of, like, previous grenades, like, that have been commissioned. So it'll have, like, a flash or a stun, like a flash grenade.
Fun grenade.
It'll be able to jam electronic signals from, like, the other side. And yeah, it's just supposed to be the ultimate grenade
No kidding.
that's just supposed to do really well.
I'd catch a knuckle of E for ya.
So it's a hand grenade and a flashbang and an EMP, but it specifically targets enemy electronics.
No, it does that, but it's not specifically targeted towards that. It can do that. It's like multi-purpose. It can do pretty much whatever.
If you drop it, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Everything happens to you.
Your phone turns off.
You're on the battlefield with no signal.
That's the biggest concern.
That's awful.
You can't
play block.
I need that in my helmet.
Okay. Yeah, I really don't know a lot about military advancements.
Not having black blast would incapacitate me, that's for sure.
Okay.
This episode brought to you by Blockbuster.
You get sponsorship.
Okay. I feel like it can't be the grenade.
Okay.
And listen, maybe I'm blowing myself up in the foot, but thank you so much. I'm really proud of that one. Okay.
Yeah, really, you'd be more proud if you guessed me and you were right. So, I'm just saying. Maybe
Okay.
uncross that.
You ready to hear about the defunct roller coaster now?
Fine.
Okay.
I mean, we had, like, a whole routine, and you're disrupting it, but okay.
So, again, the reason I did this is because I was worried that Carl was going to ruin it. So either this is a defunct roller coaster that Carl has not heard of, unlikely, or Carl's just being cool, knew it was my article, and made up something else. This roller coaster... Okay, so first of all, do you all know about Ring Racer?
Yep.
Okay.
Livy, do you know Ring Racer?
No.
It's one of the shortest lived roller coasters ever.
It's in SNS Air Launch,
Right.
Nuremberg Raceway in Germany.
That part's not relevant. The point is, it opened for like a few days and then closed down and never opened again.
It closed because
I
its
was
launch
trying to give
system.
me details so I forget.
I'm trying to avoid another boom blasters on Blue Hill
Okay,
here.
Its launch system exploded.
Anyway, this is maybe the only roller coaster with a shorter life than Ring Racer, in that it opened for about an hour. So this was located at Gold Reef City, which is in South Africa, and it was a wooden roller coaster. And basically, it was super shoddily built, like, think Son of Beast, but, like, way, way, way worse.
Okay.
And they had, like, tested it with empty trains primarily. They did a couple with, like, weighted trains. And everything looked good with the tests. And on opening day, after about an hour, a train went down the first drop, started into the first, like, curve, which was like a bank turn right after the drop, and just, like, a bunch of the wooden support beams just, like, kind of exploded and sent splinters everywhere from the stress of the train going over the hill. And then it closed down forever. They never opened it again because it was too expensive to fix it, and they basically just demolished it and pretended it never happened. And this was also, by the way, back in the 1970s.
You happen to know what Nicolande means, or what it stands for?
You know, it
That's a
didn't.
good one.
It didn't say in the article. I was looking for it, and I was wondering if it was some word in Afrikaans or something. It didn't mention it in there, and I didn't have time to Google it and figure it out because I just found this one last night. But weirdly, I hadn't heard of this either. So it's weird that it's just kind of gotten buried in history, and even coaster enthusiasts don't know about this thing.
But it has a full wiki article.
Oh, it does. But yeah, it's not talked about by the roller coaster community. Maybe because it was so long ago. It was in like 1971 that this happened. So, yeah, I don't know.
And it was at like an established park?
Yeah, Gold Reef City, which is a pretty,
It's South Africa's major amusement.
it's
Okay.
a pretty big park outside of.
It's a big park. There's a museum connected about Black South African culture.
Yep.
It is a well-known park.
Nowadays, they have a very famous roller coaster that is a vertical drop coaster that goes into a mine shaft. And then it has a really, really intense pull out to level out again, and it pulls like the highest G-force of any coaster in the world.
Still, after they toned it down after it first opened, pulling like 10 Gs.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kill people?
No, because it was just a little.
It was very
just for-
brief, but it could mess you up. It could like really hurt your back and your neck.
I feel like that would like make every single person pass out. If it was 10 Gs, like air pilots need
But
the right
pressure.
to see that down.
Completely irrelevant to this discussion. Do you know about the euthanasia coaster? Okay.
Okay, Carl, we cannot
Well,
keep
okay.
derailing this.
Okay,
Yes.
well, you did talk about a completely different roller coaster after taking away Block Blast, so I feel like you're also
This is a true
distracting.
punishment.
Daniel threw his grenade to take away your block blast.
No, I did not. No. It was taken away before the grenade even existed. So it couldn't have been me. Let's come back to
Let's go back to the game. I feel like we can edit a lot of this out.
all of
Oh, I will.
it. This entire round is going away.
I'll just be like, what is this? It's this.
Carl, is it your
It's a defunct coaster. That's it.
Yeah, it'll just go from her revealing a card to guessing. Nothing in between.
Okay, so this was from the 70s. Was the park, like, as popular as it is today?
No, it was still. I don't know exactly when the park started. I didn't read that. I didn't go through that wiki hole, but I know that it had been established for a little while, but this was going to be like their first major roller coaster. And they just went with a really bad manufacturer. I think they tried to do it like with some local companies, and there were several layers of contractors, and everybody dropped the ball. Aiden's trying to figure out how in the world that says
I totally thought it said default.
Now it kind of looks like there's like two ends. Def.
I don't know if I should be glad or sad that I know how to read Ryan's handwriting.
sad for sure.
To go to school tomorrow.
I don't.
Okay.
I have to go to work.
So it was their first major coaster, but there was no, like, promotion or anything. that we know of.
There was promotion around it, but it would have all been, because this is the 70s, there's no internet.
Right.
So it would have all been local marketing. And like I said, once it became such a disaster, they just tried to demolish it and pretend it never happened. Keep in mind, this is also apartheid South Africa, so, you know.
I mean, they were really focusing on roller coasters. Like, you know, that was really what it was all about.
Oh yeah, that's always what it's about.
Always.
Apartheid?
You put your right hand in, you take your right hand out.
Okay. The lack of detail makes it suspicious, but it does also, like, support it. Carl, is it yours? Okay, thank God. That sucked. I genuinely hated that.
Just cut it right after that sucked. I do want to show you.
Yeah, I do. Oh, that rules.
Yeah, but you can't tell what, like, if it's a centaur or,
Yeah,
like...
it's just a giant albatross.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll put it up on screen, too. 8.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was that round.
Me
It's
after
Daniel's turn after Carl puts in a new article. Transition. We're back. Daniel's turn to pick an article. Daniel shuffle them and then pick one.
Carl, yours isn't here.
Yes, okay.
I feel like, Ryan, you should just...
All right,
I feel like you should just leave it.
we are talking about Gary Powers.
Gary Powers.
Okay.
Guys, we had a rule about people.
Could it be Austin Powers?
I mean, the Xavier Space Elf.
All right, we're gonna go right off the
It
bat.
clearly wasn't obvious that that was a person. Also, that was a lie.
Elves are people too. Okay.
We're gonna start with Libby.
Okay. Gary Powers is the American parody of Austin Powers.
Which is itself a parody of James Bond.
Yeah.
Every single person was thinking, how can I relate this to Austin Powers?
Okay. Carl.
He's a hockey player.
Okay. Aiden.
He's a character in Parks and Rec.
Okay. Ryan.
Sports agent.
Tell me about the hockey player. Where is he from?
Canada.
What team?
I don't remember. I just looked at the article for the first time like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
And Carl cannot make up a hockey team either.
No!
I want to hear about the American Austin Powers.
Absolutely. He's from Texas.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of like velvet suits, it's all like American flag button downs, jeans, and like cowboy hats. It's awesome.
Does
He lives for the 4th of July.
Yeah. And a
Awesome.
shotgun. And
he's American.
he's American.
Okay.
And like all of his missions are in like Britain and stuff. Yeah.
Taking down Britain.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay. Where's the sport agent from?
I don't know where he's from. I don't know if it's said, but he's an American. Represents a lot of athletes, some famous athletes. He's still active today, but he's been doing it for a long time.
Okay.
Primarily football, American football, but he's also got clients who are in other sports.
Parks and Rec. So I don't really know how I can ask questions about this.
Don't just talk about it.
Just tell me what you know.
So, Gary Powers, he's this really nice character, but everyone bullies him and makes fun of him. And they also almost always get his name wrong up until the very last season. So it started as he was known as Larry, then Jerry, then finally Gary, which is the correct name. And he also has a beautiful family. Like, he's he's like not conventionally attractive, but he has like a super hot wife, and like I think he has like 3 daughters or something like that.
What I want to know is, based on what you've described so far, is there any difference between your character and Libby's character?
I mean, no, it's like like
One
a
of
nice
them's
guy.
like a secret agent, but no, they're exactly the same.
Yeah, this is like the daytime shift. He works as a Parks and Rec guy, and then at night,
he becomes the real McCoy.
yeah. But yeah, it's just like he's kind of the character that like you can just laugh at. But even though like he's actually genuinely nice, all the like other employees are so mean to him.
Okay. Carl, is there anything significant about this hockey player?
He won a couple championships.
How many?
A couple? 2?
2? Yeah, the problem is that Carl's and Ryan's are just so vague.
Well, you can ask me more details.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, is there anything else that you know about him?
There was a list of like different clients that he's had over the years. A few of the names I recognized. So current NFL players, he represents Jalen Ramsey, who's a cornerback. I know you don't really know many football player names, but I could list a few others. My favorite one is he represents Jameis Winston, and I'm like, that's got to be such a difficult job representing Jameis Winston. But yeah, then he, like I said, he's been around for a while. So like, just scrolling through some of the older names, Scottie Pippen was in there. Who you probably recognize.
Scottie Pippen.
He was a basketball player, played with Michael Jordan. Anyway,
Yeah, like I'm familiar. It's just
and there was I can't think of his name now, but he's a baseball player who I had heard of, and he plays for the Tampa Bay Rays currently, but I can't remember his name now. But he was in there, and I recognize the name.
Okay, well, I have really, it's kind of not easy. So, okay, well, I think it's hard with Carl because it very well could just be a hockey player named Jerry Powers.
Gary Powers.
Oh shit, it's Aiden's.
Yeah, it's Aiden's.
It's like,
Larry, Jerry, Gary.
that's the show's running joke. Have you seen Parks and Rec?
I've only seen clips, so that's what makes
it's
it so
pretty
much
funny.
harder.
I definitely recommend that show.
Yeah. I feel like it would be way too simple for it just to be American Austin Powers. I feel like that's just like, I went to you first and you panicked and you didn't have enough time to really come up with anything.
okay. In my defense, I knew Austin Powers was the first thing in everyone's mind. So
Correct.
I snagged it.
Correct. So, and I think with just, I think I know what type of articles Carl gets, and I don't think he would just get a guy, just a hockey player. Is it Ryan's?
Nope.
Is it Aiden's?
Nope.
Is it Carl's? Okay, that's. I really.
Yeah, I know. I know we have the no people rule, but like I felt like there was nothing to go off of on it.
I mean, the name's Gary Powers, so yeah, there was nothing to go off of.
That was wrong.
Yeah.
And by the way, I think what I did there, I was thinking about it after I had said this. I think in Madden, if you do the like create a player mode back in like Madden 08, the default agent that you get, I think, was Jimmy Powers. And I think that's where I pulled that from.
That's funny.
Also,
My lie for that one would have been it's a new conceptual superhero that they're just like releasing to test audiences.
Oh,
Gary Powers.
Yeah,
that
it's
is-
actually based off of Gary's mod.
I
Oh.
thought of something along those lines, but I already did the space elf thing.
Pickle.
also, everything that I said is true. It's just his last name isn't Powers, but everything else is.
That's why it was so believable.
He's just the running joke. And,
That's-
he's the best character.
All right, well, that was an episode of One Brain Ops. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Who was the winner?
Olivia.
Okay. I'll just edit that into the other one.
no, put it right at the end. Just who is the winner? Olivia.
Yes, that's what I will do. I'll play the outro music, then that, and the outro music again.